So, good morning, everyone. If you didn't know, the session is being recorded, so no giving me the middle finger. It is going to be documented for all of history. I want to start just by giving you a nice announcement about Unique to Marketing. Something really exciting that happened for us last week is we won the grant prize at the Wake Forest Founders Collective Pitch Competition. Thank you, yes. And that doesn't mean Mama's getting a new pair of shoes. That means my clients are getting this new fancy tool that's geared specifically towards helping them show up in AI search results. So instead of just working towards search engine results pages, like Google.com, we've been working towards helping our clients show up in AI search results, but this platform that we're going to be able to purchase now, it's covering, the grand prize covers the entire first year, so we're now going to be able to implement this platform in January. So we're really, really excited.
New shoes,
The platform costs $4,716 before tax,
okay, well,
and the prize was $5,000. So I'm not getting. I probably will get a new pair of shoes, but not with that money.
Yeah.
Good morning, hey Latrice, welcome. Help yourself to some coffee, Latrice. I did want to give a shout out to the coffee roasters. The coffee you're drinking today is from my good friend Sunny Days Roasters. They're based out of North Raleigh, Durant Trails neighborhood, husband-wife team. It's exceptional coffee. I hope you enjoy it, and if you guys want, I'm happy to connect you with the company. Also want to give a shout out to Bird's Nest. Thank you for letting us host here. Harmony's not in the room right now, but we appreciate you, Harmony. The cozy vibes going on. Kim was saying, we should have done this at 4 o'clock so we could have a cocktail, but I think Friday at 4 o'clock before Christmas, I think attendance would have been pretty poor. But yeah, come back. They're having a cabaret event tomorrow night, so you guys should definitely check that out. This woman Candace is incredible. All the vibes, like loungy cocktail vibes. So, with all of that said, we're going to dive in. We got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to encourage you guys to ask questions as we go. But there will be moments like where we pause and say before we go to the next thing where I ask you if you have any questions. So if you're one of those kind of people, don't worry, I'll give you that moment. But yeah, basically today we're going to be diving into socials and directories, so very little about websites themselves. So we'll talk about Unique to Marketing in general. I should tell you guys who we are. We're a full-scale marketing agency specializing in search engine optimization for small businesses in the service sector. That's not the only people we work with, but that's who we make the most impact for. That's my headshot in case you didn't remember what I looked like. I've been doing this a really long time. Welcome, come on in, help yourself to some coffee and snacks. I've been doing this a really long time and super excited to be running my own company now and have a great team in place, and we're really excited to be growing into 2026. And let's see, we're gonna dive in first, starting at the very beginning with your password manager. All right, this is something that a lot of people have been resistant on. A password manager example would be 1Password, LastPass. This is a handout for you. Yeah. LastPass is another example. I used to use LastPass, and I now use 1Password, and there's a very important reason why. 1Password is integrated across your phone and your desktop, and I don't know about you, but I use both. Right? I think we all use both. LastPass, you have to pay for one over here and one over here, and if they're listening, you should have fixed that because now it's 1Password for me. You've got one login, and I have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of passwords in there, and you can file them in different folders, and you can tag. For me, I can tag my clients, but you guys can tag credit cards, personal, whatever you want. It's great. I highly recommend it. Because what I don't recommend is your first name 1, 2, 3, and then add like an exclamation point here and an asterisk here. I don't recommend it. Number one, you're gonna get hacked, right? I don't know if you guys have ever met somebody who got hacked on Facebook or Instagram, but it happens a lot, and your uncle is not selling all of his possessions, and that car does not cost $25, right? Like that just happened to my friend last week. It happens all the time. Set secure passwords, set 2FA. It's annoying, but it's helpful. Right? So before you even start any of these social media platforms or directories, get a password manager, set up 2FA on every single thing you do. It's that simple. Just don't skip the step. From there, let's see, other background, email. When you're working with an agency like Unique to Marketing, it is very helpful to have an email address that you don't mind us logging into. So a lot of times what we'll do for clients is set up an email. We've got Valor Divorce Law Firm back here. Maybe it would be Valor Divorce Law Firm Marketing at gmail.com. It costs $0. I have full access. Latrice would have full access. And it would allow me to set up her socials using 2FA with that email address, rather than Latrice being in a courtroom and me saying, what's the password? What's the code that Google just sent you on your phone? I mean, really, y'all, we're all busy running our businesses, and you don't need, whether it's an agency or your person at the front desk, your in-house person, you don't need to be answering what the code is in the middle of the day. It's very annoying. So get an email that's free that they have access to. Set up your 2FA through the free email. And on the free email, set up 2FA on that too. Let's see. Now, when it comes to your email that's listed on your website, think about the credibility that comes with blank at youneedtomarketing.com versus youneedtomarketing@gmail.com. There's a psychological shift that occurs. When people see at gmail.com listed on your website, they think, oh, they're just starting out, oh, they're new. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it just takes away a little bit of your credibility. It's a subtle psychological thing. And if you have at gmail.com, it's not broken, don't worry, like you're not, it's not the end of the world. You can always change it. With You Need to Marketing, I use Workspace. I love Workspace all day long. I use Workspace for my domain where we have our emails. So if we get a new person to our team, we just can go into our admin account and add that new person. At youneedtomarketing.com is their email address, put their name at. We have contact at listed on the website. If somebody fills out a form, that forwards directly to my inbox, but it keeps it looking fancy like I have a big business, like where I have office staff, administrative staff, which I do not. Mm-hmm. I am the administrative staff. Okay, so if you guys go on You Need to Marketing right now and fill out a form, it says you're sending it to contact at, it's landing in my inbox. Because in the back end, I forwarded contact at emails to me. So there's certain ways to make yourself look a little bigger than you are as a small business. And I highly recommend those small little psychological shifts that you can make to make people feel more comfortable moving forward with your business. In addition to that, Workspace specifically, you can use your calendar and integrate that as a CTA on your website. So like schedule a consult with me is just another option that you can give them, and you can build that into the calendar that you're already using. I highly recommend integrating all of that in one space. Right? It doesn't have to be Workspace with Google, and Google is not paying me for this. They're just, in my opinion, the best at it. So that's why we use them. But having everything kind of housed in one little admin area is very, very helpful. If you need help with workspace management, we do that too. So anyway, create a marketing email. I think we talked about 2FA. So we're ready for the next slide. Any questions on password managers or email, kind of the background stuff? No, okay. All right, so we're gonna stay in the general background area just a little bit longer here. So NAP is like an industry, there's all these acronyms. NAP refers to name, address, phone number. You want your name, your address, and your phone number to be written the same way, whether it's on your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Google Business profile, your LinkedIn, whatever. So it comes down to what's my business name? Some people, y'all don't even, you would not believe what I inherit. Like 20 different ways of the business being written across 20 different platforms. And this goes to everything I talk about really is a part of SEO. It's all connected. If your business is named all these different things, and I don't mean like, golden lamp and red flower, but I mean golden lamp, INC, period. Golden lamp, INC, no period. Golden lamp. Golden Lamp LLC, Golden Lamp Incorporated. Like, it's all Golden Lamp, but the way you write it should be consistent. It's going to help your brand show up better online. It's also not going to confuse people, It's like, wait, one of my clients, y'all, anyway, he's got, him and 100 other people have that business name, and it's just, I have to write it, we have to write it just so, because he's the only one that's written that exact same way, and we chose it for that reason. So if you have a common business name, do your research before you pick one and stick with it. Make sure that you're the only one with the comma and the period or whatever, right? Try to kind of differentiate yourself in that way. Now, the way to find your address, you guys know you could write AVE period, you could write avenue. The best way to do it, because we're all trying to optimize for Google, right? Google's king when it comes to SEO and also AI search as well. We're going to go to maps.google.com, type in your address, hit return, and see how it populates. See what Google wants to do. Don't push against Google, work with Google. That's the way your address should be formatted. If you are a ship on-site store or UPS store or the loading dock or whatever, what have you, make sure you get your suite number, make sure you get your number, right? Format it just the way the loading dock will know how to format it exactly. Ship on-site will know how to format it exactly. Ask the questions. Make sure that they'll give you the exact formatting. It matters, and keep it consistent across all platforms. Phone number is a lot easier. We, as a company, we do 919 or 843 or whatever it is in parentheses, space, 3 numbers hyphen 4 numbers. And I know that sounds incredibly meticulous, but it matters. Every little thing matters. We want consistency, consistency, consistency. So what we see a lot is 919 hyphen 3 numbers hyphen 4 numbers, and then maybe sometimes with no hyphens, maybe sometimes with dots. Oh, let me be cute on this platform. Let me add. No, don't be cute. Keep it the same. Everything consistent with your name, address, phone number. Similarly, your brand should look and feel the same. Okay, so your icon, hopefully by now you guys know when you see that flower icon, that's me, that's Rebecca, right? Might be unique to yoga, might be unique to marketing, but either way, that's me, and you're connecting with me as a human when you see that icon. The coloration is the same, the messaging is the same. You're not going to land on one platform and all of a sudden be like, oh wait, she's working with Xerox and Hershey and Coca-Cola. No, I'm not. I work with small businesses, and that comes across in all of my messaging on all of my platforms. So you'll immediately look and feel that. And you should do the same with your business. The other thing to think about is that's pretty much all that should be the same. When you're creating new content, it's important to differentiate it slightly. One major flag for SEO is what we call duplicate content. So a lot of people will create one blurb and just blast it out across all 5, 6, and it's not nearly as destructive as taking a blog from someone else's site and putting it on your own. That'd be a major issue, right? And we run into that a lot. It sounds silly, but a lot of people will go with companies that develop, I specialize in your industry and I build websites in your industry, and you look around and there's 25 pages out there that have the exact same content as yours. That's an issue, right? So we want to stay away from duplicate content on websites, like with a giant, like stay way far away from it. On socials, just a little differentiation is plenty. So if I said I am wearing a red shirt on Facebook, maybe on Instagram I'd say, today I have on a red shirt. Right, just a slight differentiation, or if you have a series of 3 things, black, white, and red, maybe you say red, white, and black. Right, just a little bit of difference. Now, if you want to get fancy, which I do recommend when you're getting really into it, is you can change your messaging, the tone of voice a little bit based on your audience. The most extreme example of that would be LinkedIn versus Twitter, right? LinkedIn, you're talking to a business professional, or at least somebody who's trying to be one, right? And they're in that frame, they're in that business frame of mind. So they're going to want to hear more formal tone from you, more of a, hello, this is unique to marketing, and we're a full scale, da-da-da-da-da. Whereas on Twitter, you've only got, a limited amount of characters. You'd be like, hey guys, we work with small businesses. If you want to grow, call us, right? Like, so it's a little bit of a different kind of vibe. It's the same messaging, but a little bit different of a tone of voice. Facebook and Instagram are very similar, but your audience, just think about your audience being skewed slightly older on Facebook and slightly younger on Instagram. It's a pretty negligible difference though. I think I just said, no, we have to talk about this now too. So, did anybody have any questions about name, address, phone number, and like, branding consistency? Okay. So part 2 of branding consistency, we talk about the profiles. So you've got a different amount of characters on every single platform that you create a profile on. Today we're going to be focusing on Google Business Profile, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, the heavy hitters, right? X is, some people are using it, some people aren't. It's kind of its own thing. But what you want to think about is how many characters do I have, and what am I going to do with those characters, right? So hopefully at this point, before you've gotten here, you'll kind of know your main keywords. They should be in your profile listing. Absolutely. for two reasons. Number one, the algorithm, right? We got to feed the beast. But number two, if that's what you're doing, you need people to know it when they first land on your social, right? Or your platform or whatever it is. So we want to put it in front of them right away. Think about when you're doing your profile, you want to think about your 15-second elevator pitch, right? When somebody says, oh, hey, what do you do? And you're like, and you give them that sentence that boils it all down. That's your profile, essentially, right? And you notice how if a fifth grader asks you, you have a different answer than if a college professor asks you. Think about that when you're on the different platforms. Not that any of the platforms are like a fifth grader, but maybe one I won't say, but anyway. All right, so test. Now, once you've set up your platforms, test. There's nothing worse than you missing a lead, right? So, we'll talk about contact forms maybe later on your website, but if somebody sends you a Facebook message and you don't receive it, if it's, hey, what are your hours, and your hours are listed, who cares, right? I mean, come on. You can set up AI to answer those questions. But if it's, hi, I'd like to schedule a consultation with you, you don't want to miss that lead, right? So we want to make sure you're receiving all of your leads. And with that said, you can let AI handle some of the, what are your hours, are you open, can I, whatever. You know the answers, you know the questions for your business. There are ways, it's called automated messaging, and you can set that up, and people kind of expect it. When they ask a dumb question, they're going to get a computer answer, and that's okay. But when they ask a personal question, we want to make sure that they're able to connect with you or your office staff or whoever it may be. So make sure you're testing each platform. Any questions about that? All right. Any questions about background in general? We're going to jump in here one at a time. So determine your social handles as much as you can. Try to stay with the same one. Okay? So that means don't go to Facebook, set up your Facebook, and then get to Instagram and realize it's not available on Instagram. And then have to try to change it on Facebook. Don't do that. It's a mess. So go to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and X if that's important to you, and unify. Maybe you have to add NC or Wake Forest or WF or a hyphen or an underscore to get the same one across all platforms. But try to find one that's yours, right? That you can just kind of own, and you can tell people. It's helpful on your business card, on your bumper sticker, on your car to just say @blank, and it's like wherever you go, when you go to that, you're gonna find me, not my competitor with a similar name. If you have some startup money, it is helpful to invest in whoever's doing your logo, your branding for you, to have them go ahead and create banners for you for your socials. It takes them 5 minutes. It takes us 5 hours. Like, I mean, straight up, it's crazy. And making them responsive on the different platforms, it's harder than you think. I definitely don't do it. We have a designer that does it, who has that brain, who knows how to do it. It seems like so easy, but if you go like trees or something, it's easy. But if you're going with specific messaging and trying to make sure that X, Y, and Z shows in just the right place, it's very helpful to have a designer for that. So Google Business Profile, formerly known as Google My Business. Everybody know what I'm talking about when I say Google Business Profile? Yes. In 2025, in my opinion, and I do this kind of all day, every day, Google Business Profiles rose, almost above organic search engine results. Like in 2024, we started seeing the shift, and in 2025, I talk to people all the time who think they're on a website and they're on a Google Business Profile. And they don't some people don't even know the difference. Some people don't even look at the search results. The business profile matters, right? The search results definitely matter, and they give us a lot of flexibility on being really engaging. But you really want to set your good Google Business Profile up, right? You want to give it the same amount of attention that you're giving your website as far as a setup level, right? It's not going to cost as much to set up, of course, but it is really, really, really important. The primary owner should be you, the business owner. Anybody that works for you, no matter how much you love them, they could come and go, and they could, just anything can happen. And it's very difficult to become the primary owner without having access to that human, right? Without saying, hey person, can you please switch me to the primary owner? It is basically impossible beyond that. And if you have 100 reviews, I just would hate to see something happen. So make sure you are the primary owner. And when I say you, I mean you're like Rebecca at unitamarketing.com is the primary owner, not contact at, whatever it may be. It should be you yourself. you should have a couple more admins. Like, right, you can't do it all yourself. Admins can do everything except switch primary owners. The only thing an admin can't do is say, okay, now I'm gonna be the primary owner. Like, right, you're the only one that can change that. But they literally they could bomb you in a day. So don't make somebody an admin unless you really trust them and they know what they're doing. Two very important disclaimers. You trust them and they know what they're doing. Because you trust a lot of people that don't know what they're doing, and they can mess you up bad by messing up your Google business profile. So be careful who you give that admin access to. If you're working with an agency, we know what we're doing. I'm not telling you to be skeptical of your marketing agencies, but I am telling you to be skeptical of your uncle, Billy, who says he knows what he's doing, and he's like a car salesman. You're like, you know what? I'm going to make you an editor, because as an editor, there's less that you can mess up, right? They can still do posts for you, they can still update images and stuff like that, but they can't burn the house down. So think about those roles carefully. Bio, we kind of already talked about. It's the most important to be keyword rich on Google for obvious reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure you build out your services. So some of us, might be thinking like, well, I'm a lawyer. That's my service. No. Like if you're a divorce lawyer, like prenuptial agreements, like separation agreements, family law, divorce law, like all the big heavy hitter keywords, build them out as your different services. Any little area that it allows you to fill something out, fill it out. Do you have parking? Do you have Wi-Fi? Blah, blah, blah. Answer all the questions. Make your profile as robust as possible. Adding images regularly matters, and doing profile updates matters. Okay, so when you're setting it up on the first place, your icon, we talked about that a little bit last week, working with a designer, making sure you have like a nice noticeable icon. Mm-hmm. But also it goes beyond that. You want to have images. If you're a foot traffic place where people are actually visiting, you want to have signage from the street. You want to have signage standing outside your building. You want to have signage of somebody opening the door, maybe even a little video of like somebody walking in. Like the more the merrier. The waiting room, the treatment room, the coffee maker. You're serving bougie coffee, show it off, right? People love that. You have fancy soap in your bathroom, show that off, right? Like if I was Harmony Bird's Nest, I don't know if you guys have seen these bathrooms, but definitely hit them up before you leave. Both of them, they're really cool. That would definitely be on the business profile, right? All those little details, that little phone booth, like just things that separate you and make you really cute, like that beautiful arched bar, like, holiday shots of that. Mm-hmm. So think about, when you're setting it up, you have an opportunity to say in office and at work, right? So you can show those physical locations. The seasonal stuff is great because it gives people all the feels, mm-hmm. right? But also showing people shaking drinks, serving drinks, like in action, showing the place packed, like, wow, that looks fun, or I'm thirsty, right? But also on top of that, we want to do the regular updates. So anytime you're taking the time to go to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and post about whatever it is, take the extra moment to make a profile update on Google Profile. It will show in search results down towards the bottom. And then in addition, add whatever image you're adding to that profile. Add it to your images if it's applicable. By adding it to the images, it's there forever. If you just add it to the profile, it kind of cycles out eventually. Yes, Gabe?
Is it always going to show the most recent uploaded photos? Does it kind of put those in priors?
No, it usually shows the one that annoying person took of the dumpster behind the building. That's what it really likes to show. I'm telling the truth. It's so annoying. Yeah, and we can't say you're going to show this one, Google. We're telling you what to do. But what you can do is you can hit the 3 little dots and flag it and say like, this is not representative of my business. This is the dumpster behind the building. Like, hey, machine bots that are running the world. This is a dumpster.
Yeah. My worry when you said like the seasonal stuff is like, we put pictures of like Christmas or something, and then the Christmas ones pop up like in the summer.
Yeah. So I don't see that happening very often. It's more of the streetscape pictures that we don't like, or like one of my clients had a van. It was like literally a van for another business. Somebody had taken a picture because his van was also in the picture, but like the van of the other business was in the center of the image, and that's what was showing. It was so stupid. I was just like, so at a certain point you just flag it and flag it and flag it, and you kind of just, hope it works out. But yeah, so if it's a very specific holiday image that that wouldn't work well if it popped up, that would look really weird in July. That's a perfect example of something to bring on to your profile update, like as an update that will cycle out, but not adding as a permanent image.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, and that was, I'm glad you said that, Gabe, because that probably was a bad example for me to point out. I was just thinking like with Bird's Nest, like all the vibes with the poinsettia, like it's just so beautiful, and it kind of, I'd almost want to see that. Like if I saw that in July, I'd feel like, oh wow, so pretty, But yeah, normally most of our decorations are kind of cheesy and would be kind of silly in July. Yeah, I know mine are. Any other questions about that? No? Oh, yep, Gabe?
For the updates, do you kind of treat it almost like a social media post?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We keep it a little bit briefer because only a little bit shows, and then you have to click more to see more. So make sure that the most important part is in the top. Other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, you'll see the whole thing all at once. For the most part, sometimes you don't. But Google Business, you see about 160 characters. So generally speaking, we keep those a little bit tighter, a little bit more keyword rich, a little bit more engaging on the front end, where normally it would be kind of like teaser, meet, call to action. It kind of starts with like a, hey, read, check out this blah, 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 or whatever. It kind of starts with an action-driven statement. Does that make sense? Okay, so Facebook company page. Oh, do you guys want to talk about Google reviews at all, how to handle those? Do we have any questions about that? Yes? Okay, let's go back to that for a second. I just thought of that. It's not on the slides, it's not on your handout, but we do help people with that a lot. If you get a Google review from somebody that is a stranger that might be reviewing a different business or just might be jealous of you or mad at you because your hair looks good or whatever it may be, I want you to know you can flag that review. I also want you to know that you don't really have any power. It is machines that we are talking to, not humans. And I had the best review. I mean, it was the best. It was so good. And it was so good that Google was like, that's too good. And they took it away because it had keywords in it. Which they tell you they want keywords and that it helps you show up better, but at the same time, if it's too keyword rich, then they take it away. And I flagged it and I said, hey, there's a support system. You guys can call me. I can help you with this. It usually works. They waited 6 weeks on this one and just told me last week, nah, you can't have that review. I was like, okay. Yeah, so there's very little control that we do have, but at the same time, we do have some power in that we can flag reviews that are inappropriate. If somebody's using bad language or using terrible grammar, and you could tell they were just like red hot mad and just, bleh, a lot of times they'll take those down because they're clearly driven by anger and not clear thoughts, those kinds of things. But the best thing to do, flag it immediately, right? And now if it's a person that you know that you did them dirty on accident, like, your office staff was rude, they were having a bad day, and, you're a business owner, you're hustling back there, but you don't have control over every aspect of your business, the best thing to do is contact the person directly. Do everything you can to make it right, right? And once you've made it right, once everybody's feeling good, then you gently say, so about that review, right? And a lot of times they'll take it down themselves, which is the best way, because that's the only way we can say for sure it's going to go away is if they manually take it down. So, and soliciting reviews is very important. We can help you do that too. Reviews matter a whole lot. So anything you can do to get a review, and it really hurts when they take them away, but it does happen sometimes. So for Facebook company page, the most important thing to think about with Facebook is how to set it up in general. Like, where do I start? And the answer is in your personal Facebook page. Okay? Now, if you have a lot of things happening on the marketplace on your personal Facebook page, it might be helpful to create like a kind of a blind account. If you're a normal person doing normal human things and you have 2FA and you have a password manager and a secure login, I typically recommend you use your own Facebook. Up in the top right corner, you can click, let's see, 9 dots. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget because I can see it, but I can't. So there's 9 dots in the top right corner. You select page in the right column under create. So you'll see a little column that says create, and you select the page. Why did I bother to write that out? Because group is not a page. And a lot of people create groups and think they're creating a page. If you are creating a Facebook page for your business, it should be a page. Page is kind of the Facebook jargon for business. Ensure at least one other person has full control. So on Facebook, it's just like Google My Business. Make sure you trust them and they know what they're doing, right? Because you can be out in Bahamas unplugging and somebody can send you a great lead and all of a sudden, so there's a problem and da-da-da. You need somebody who can do all the things, right? They don't need full control to your page, to your personal page. It's very important that you understand when you have a Facebook company page, you can share access to that company page with another person's personal. So when you're in Facebook, you can toggle between your personal and your company. And that person, once you give them access, that person will be able to do the same thing. So they're not actually gaining access to your personal Facebook. Any questions about that part? Profile ID. This is something that a lot of people miss. Some of this stuff is kind of intuitive, Google it, whatever, but profile ID, you have to set it in the back-end settings, and you can Google how to find it, but make sure you do it, because what happens is if you don't actually set your profile ID, your URL of your Facebook address is going to be a bunch of numbers, and it's very messy, and you've probably seen that for some people, and you wonder why does theirs look like a mess and others look really good. It's that one little quick setting. It's called the profile ID in the back end of the settings. So one of the main reasons that I recommend people use their personal Facebook page rather than creating Jane Doe and creating their company page through that is because you probably have been on Facebook for a while. It's not new, right? And you probably have some friends, and those friends probably have some friends. And you can leverage that. You can invite your friends to follow your company page. I'm sure everyone here has been invited to follow their friends' company pages. It's nothing new, but here's what is new. You have to invite them, y'all. Like, people do it when they first set it up, they invite like 20 people and then they forget. And then they wonder why they have 15 followers. Keep inviting people that you haven't invited before. Rather than inviting all 200 all at once, you can invite, say 50 and kind of keep your eye on it and invite another 50. And a year from now, you might have gained a few other followers. So you'll be able to see who you've invited and who you haven't, but just keep up with that. That's the easiest way to grow your Facebook following that people kind of forget about. Any questions about that? Instagram. The big trap for Facebook is not setting up your profile ID. The big trap for Instagram is toggling to a professional account. I see all the time people set up Instagram pages for their business through a personal, I have Rebecca N. Werner and I have at You Need to Marketing NC and at You Need to Yoga NC. It's very important that you don't have a personal Rebecca N. Werner account with your business name tied to it. And there's nothing broken about it, but your functions are way decreased. When you have a professional page, you can have a call to action, you can have your URL listed, you can have your address listed if you're a foot traffic location, and you have a little bio too. So it's very helpful. And I recommend that people set up their Instagram using their mobile device. Up until I think it was about 2 years ago, we were having to post for people on Instagram from our phones. I mean, it was only a couple years ago that we could actually post from desktop. So there's still a company that's driven by mobile usage. So go to your cell phone to set up your Instagram profile. You're gonna have more success that way. Carefully consider the first URL in your profile. What I mean by that, in your actual profile, it'll have your name, we're a full-scale marketing agency specializing in SEO or whatever, your little profile statement, and then you're gonna have links. You can have more than one link. Most people, logically, would put their website, right? YouNeedToMarketing.com. You'll see if you look at our Instagram, you'll see something called a link tree. Raise your hand if you're familiar with link tree. Okay, half of you are, half of you aren't. So the ones of you that are, take a nap real quick. Linktree is basically a get around for Instagram. It gives you the ability, in your posts, you can't link to anything. So if you're talking about, hey, I just got brand new merch in, order it now, link in bio, is what you would say on Instagram. Because you could put the link all day long, but nobody can click on it. They can click on links in your stories, but not in your posts. So rather than expecting somebody to get it, really, nobody's gonna do that, okay? So maybe they'll be able to find it on your website, maybe not, maybe they'll take the time. We all know, probably not. So they're probably just never gonna, but the link in bio, you'll see that a lot on Instagram. And what that means, 99% of the time, is they have a link tree set up, and that first URL is a link tree. So you click on that first link, and in Linktree, it's just a list of links. right? And you can pretty it up. You can make it consistent with your brand with same coloration. But if I just posted about new merch coming in, and this just happened yesterday for You Need to Yoga. We had new merch come in, and it was exciting. And so on Instagram, it would say link in bio, and then the first link in Linktree would be order your merch, right? So that it makes it real easy. Any questions about that? Okay. So so every other platform, you're going to have your exact URL as the main profile link, but in Instagram only, I recommend that Linktree as the first option. If you need help setting it up, we can help you with that too. Use the bio wisely. We talked about that already, but Instagram one is pretty tight, and Instagram users are hardcore. Like my cousin is one of them. We have an itinerary that she built for us. Tomorrow night we're going out in North Hills, Lord help us. And she built an itinerary for us and did not include one URL for like an actual business URL. It was all Instagram links. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And she's in her 30s, right? And I was just thinking, like, I'm in my 40s and mine would all be like URLs, like of the actual business name. But she's in her 30s and hers were all Instagram URLs. And I kind of clicked around on it, and I found as a user, it was like actually a pretty great experience, because I clicked on it, I saw some images, I saw got the vibe, and then if I wanted to learn more, I could click on their bio and go to their website. So it actually worked really well, but you really want to use that. Think about people like me, my cousin building my itinerary, clicking on that Instagram, from that first profile, that's my first impression of your business. And it happens a lot. So really be careful, like anytime you're building these profiles, particularly Instagram, think about if this is the first time anybody's ever seen my business and I've got 2 seconds. Are they going to stay or are they going to play? So that's the other thing to think about. Okay, so the one other thing to talk about with Instagram is you can connect it to to Facebook. That goes in the back end settings. You're going to do it from Facebook. So you're going to go backwards, right? So say you set up Facebook, then you set up Instagram, go back to Facebook, connect your accounts. It is much easier to post from mobile. You can post to both at the same time. When you're posting stories, you can toggle the little setting on and post to both at the same time. It's lovely. Creating those stories takes a long time, and it is very helpful to have them connected to one another. When you we call that cross-posting. Duplicate content is not nearly as much of an issue. So don't worry too much about the duplicate content. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. If you're individually posting, certainly vary them a little bit, but when you're taking the time to put audio and captions and tag people and links and all that, cross-posting is definitely the way to go. You're more likely to make a mistake on one or the other. Yes.
So with the connecting, do you recommend more posting with the Meta Business Suite versus each individual?
It's really user preference. If I'm doing a story, I prefer my phone.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot more capability on your phone. If I'm doing a post, I prefer Meta.
Okay.
Yeah. Not everybody's comfortable with Meta. It's a little scary. It takes you to a new page. It's a new tab in your browser. It feels very stressful. Once you get used to it, Meta Business Suite is very helpful. We're going to get to it probably right here. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So Meta Business Suite, don't let it scare you. Once you have everything set up correctly, when you get there, it really does feel stressful. Like you're not crazy if you feel like what is happening. But once you get used to it, just start as simple as create a post. And what you'll find is that you can customize a post for Facebook and Instagram. You can toggle between the two. You can add your image. You can add whatever messaging you want for Facebook, whatever hashtags you want, and then toggle over to Instagram tab, do the same thing, and then you can hit post or you can hit schedule, which is very helpful. Because I know I'm probably not the only business owner that was working at my desk at 1 a.m. this morning. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to post for my client at 1 a.m. But at the same time, that's when I was getting it out and getting it done, so you can schedule it, which is very helpful. You don't need to use Who Business Suite, all those fancy, expensive things. Most of us are trying to keep our costs as lean as possible. So Meta Business Suite is free, and it's a great way to schedule posts. You can also answer your messages from there too. Any questions about Facebook, Instagram, or Meta? No? Yay. Okay, is this helpful for you guys, or am I saying a bunch of, yeah? Okay, all right, cool. We've got about 15 minutes left. Let's see, LinkedIn, okay. All right. I feel like you guys aren't gonna have too many questions because we're doing questions on the way, so I'm gonna go kind of right up until 5 minutes till. LinkedIn company page, every single platform has its own oddities, and that's kind of what I'm trying to point out, because you guys are all smart and you can all use Google to help you set these things up. But similar to Facebook, you want to set up your LinkedIn from your personal account, not John Doe, not your office person. It needs to be your account. You can leverage your followers to help you build your network on your company page. So once you set it up through your business account, I think I tell you on here, and I hope it's in this, let's see, 9 select page under create. Yeah, I tried to fit as much on that handout as I could. So yeah, very similar to Facebook. Go to the 9 dots, select page under the create. Ensure at least one other trusted person has full control. And remember 2 things: you need to trust them, and they need to know what they're doing. And that's full control for the same reason as all the others. Set your profile ID, just like Facebook. You can choose what your URL looks like. It's in the back end settings. Look for it. You'll find it. It's very important. Now this is the illogical part. Clean up your personal LinkedIn before you connect it to your company. People are looking at you. People stalk you on LinkedIn. It's real, okay? If you're a business owner, your personal profile should be tight, should be buttoned up tight. You need to be thinking about the banner like it was your business. Spend time on it. Make sure it looks lovely. Make sure that your personal profile is indicative of who you are as a human, but who you are as a business owner. So like my unique to marketing, for example, would say full scale marketing agency specializing in SEO for small business, right? My personal says I'm a champion of small business. Like I eat, sleep, and breathe small business all day, every day. Like I spend all day helping small businesses grow. That's what I love to do, right? That's what you're gonna get from my personal. And then you're also gonna learn that I love to paddleboard and do yoga and go to hear live music. Like, so you'll hear a little bit more because I'm not a robot, but at the same time, it's a professional platform. And professionally speaking, I eat, sleep, and breathe small business, right? So that's the kind of the way you want to think about it. They go together very closely. Once you tighten up your personal profile, connect it to your company page that you've created. Under companies or experience, I think it is, wherever it is where you tell what job you're working at. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
That little area.
Yeah.
Type in your business name after you've created your page and it will populate, okay? And then you select what populates, and then all of a sudden they're connected. And now your friends that you saw at the Christmas party last night who are stalking you today on LinkedIn can go to your company page, right? They see that you own this company, and they not only do they just know the name of it, and then maybe they go to Google and type it in, they can click to it, and now they're on your LinkedIn company page. So it's very important that they're connected.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That piqued my interest. I'm not the owner of my company. I mean, I'm running my own thing, but there's an owner. How does that look for my personal page in connecting people to our company page? Does that make sense?
100% it makes sense, yeah.
So I have to be very cognizant of anything I put on my personal page. Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
I don't want to reflect any. I need to remain neutral, and support our business.
Well, you are a fabulous employee. Kudos to you.
Well, there's only 3 of us, so this is my business. We're all
I
very
love it.
invested.
I hope my team sounds the
But
same way.
I
Yeah.
am not the owner.
So to answer your question specifically, this is Kim, everybody, and Kim works with a company that helps businesses connect with food and beverage distributors and help maintain their specifically the beverage equipment.
Costing, yeah. We do all purchasing kind of related stuff.
And distribution, like she works with you like on a large scale when you're going from like 1 restaurant to 4 or 5. Like she helps you figure out how to do that on a strategic level with your logistics, right? So that's what your business does, but that's also the way your brain works. So your personal page would talk about the fact that you specialize in those services in general, and then your work experience would absolutely connect to your business because you care about the business that you work for and you want people to visit that page. So does that answer it's very similar in look and feel, but the slight difference for you is that you want it to be broad enough that if you end up at another company 3 years from now, you don't have to change everything on your personal page.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the right track I don't have anything, but it is kind of a touchy thing. I'm very, as far as the comments I make and businesses and things.
That's always wise.
Because I don't want someone coming in and going, wow,
Yeah, it can go both ways. Some people
but-
only want a certain kind of person in their business, and so they just let it out. And most people are pretty neutral, when they're like, I'm not trying to make anybody mad. I'm just trying to provide my service.
Right. And I'm trying not to go off on a tangent, guys, but you know, you're starting to see a lot of, I've seen some like, in my perspective, is kind of personal stuff, and it's, you know, people are starting to comment, so it's almost like Facebook things, and I'm like, you're running a business or you're working for this business, but now you're representing something that you might alienate, you know, because you just alienated me, and I don't even know you. So
Yeah,
it's
you bring up a
interesting
good
how
point.
it's morphing. LinkedIn is morphing. It's becoming, I just see a lot of personal stuff on there that I think should not be, but.
So Kim just opened a Pandora's box.
Sorry.
Then I'm going to
Keep
conclude
going.
by
Keep
saying,
going.
write it down. It's not on your handout. It's not in the slideshow. But as business owners, we need to be keeping an eye, making sure our employees aren't out there waving a flag we don't want them to wave. You know, and if you care, you want to make sure. And if you don't care, then don't make sure. But it's something to think about. It is something to consider. Yes, Gabe.
On LinkedIn, again, I feel like LinkedIn is kind of a waste of time for me.
So that is possible that certain industries.
I was wondering if you have an opinion on different industries and like also clientele and everything. Like I feel like if I'm trying to spend time like posting on there, it's like it gets like no interaction. Like people, I feel like in our like line of work, who we're looking for as far as bringing in, don't go on LinkedIn.
Right.
So like,
That's a good point.
do
So.
you think that's true? Am I looking at that wrong?
No, you're definitely not looking at it wrong. The only thing that I would call wrong is the waste of time. It's not gonna hurt anything. So it could feel like a waste of time at times, but 100 posts could lead to a new client that stays with you for 10 years, and that would have been worth it, right? Or somebody whose life you can change. And it's really only takes a couple extra seconds to go over to LinkedIn and, you know, post a few minutes, but you know what I mean? It's not, you're already doing the work. It's not really hurting anything. Sometimes it is more strategic than other companies. I've had companies that are like, I don't like LinkedIn, it's annoying. LinkedIn people get on my nerves. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not using LinkedIn. I mean, it's your business, right? So you can always choose for any reason. And if you found I'm going into the abyss, then instead of saying pack up shop and give up, I would give you some strategies. And those strategies would involve, let's get into this just a little bit. Linking to your personal page, you want to grow your personal following on LinkedIn because you can only connect with people, the only people that can follow your company, that you can invite to follow your company are people that you're connected with, that are in your network. So you've got to think about two different goals here, building your own personal LinkedIn network and then building your company page, like the followers on your company page. So it's kind of two different lists, to-do lists. Every week, maybe you take a couple moments to invite people to follow your LinkedIn, to connect with you personally. And then at the same time, anybody that you've connected with recently, you can invite them to follow your company page. So it's two separate buckets. Does that make sense? Now, similar to that, with Facebook and LinkedIn, this is also not on your handout. I tried to remember everything when I was creating these, but joining groups is really strategic. And I would definitely recommend that for you, Gabe. Anybody, you know, Gabe and Jess are they're chiropractors, but they're also in functional medicine. So I feel like there'd be really some really cool niche groups on both LinkedIn and Facebook. Definitely Facebook primarily, I would agree. No question, Facebook is gonna be more of a strategic tool for you. But there might be some on LinkedIn, right, that you can figure out. And you can post, you can share those posts that you create with the groups that have let you in. And they might kick you out. So follow their rules. You know, don't just get on there and say, buy me, you know, fill out a consult. Don't be spammy because they'll kick you out pretty quick. But yeah, joining those groups can be really helpful. We're gonna talk about X for about 1 minute. Make sure you're using a professional account, just like Instagram. There's a personal and there's professional. Make sure you're using professional. You have to be strategic with Twitter. You have to choose between, do I want to show this or do I want to show this? So think about, are you foot traffic? Are you not foot traffic? It's usually that simple. Do I want to drive traffic like Bird's Nest? It would be address, right? And like make a reservation. My company, it would be contact page on my website, right? Or maybe my website, and hey, check us out and see if we're a good fit for you. Fill out a consult. Use the bio wisely. We've talked about that enough. I want to be really respectful of your time. Is anybody holding like a question to the end that they wanted to ask? Because I've only got about 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's going to keep rolling. Okay. Yelp.com. You guys heard of that? Yes, that thing people get on when they're mad. I have clients, you know, kind of like Gabe, like that's a waste of time. I have clients who are like, I hate Yelp, like, right, like it has burned me.
I hate Yelp.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, some people like really, like, there is no rule that says you have to have a
It's
Yelp
terrible.
account. So that angry Yelper gets on Yelp to burn you and you're not there, they might get distracted by shiny something over there and forget to go to Google and burn you, right? So people, Yelp is a little controversial because that is typically a place that people go when they're angry. So think about it. If you don't, if you're not dealing with like large scale service, that kind of thing, it's significantly less likely to occur. But on the flip side of that, which I do have to say, and I don't work for Yelp and they don't work for me, it really is helpful to have a Yelp for Business Owners page because their Yelpers are on Yelp. That's just where they're hanging out, right? Yelpers are on Yelp, Facebook people are on Facebook, my cousin's on Instagram, so if that Yelper is looking for a cocktail bar and you're not on there, they're going to the other one, right? So it's kind of a necessary evil for some of us. So if you do want to create a Yelp page, we can discuss if it works best for you or not. You don't go to Yelp.com. Yelp.com is where you go to create your own personal profile, where you go to burn people. Please don't burn people though, y'all. I have written blogs about this and made videos about this. Like, if you're mad, just talk to the person who owns the business. They probably had nothing to do with your experience and they will fix it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my sidebar. Biz.yelp.com. It should be in your handout. It is. That's where you go to create your company page. To spend money or not spend money, don't spend money at the start. They will blow your phone up. They will call you every day. They will email you every day. It's a necessary evil of having a business owner's account. I say don't spend money on the front end. If you are a cocktail bar or somewhere where foot traffic is really, really important, or like service sector, like I have an HVAC client, an appliance repair client who it's really can be helpful to just they hire somebody new and they need to put some, get the funnel open a little bit. It is a great place to do that. Don't do it without a promotion. They always have a promotion, right? You should be able to get at least 350 match for your 350 at the very least. So don't just go on there and spend money. Like, wait till they call you and offer you something and then take them up on it if you're gonna spend money. Bing Places, 6% of people, probably more like 5% now later in the year with the rise of AI searches, but through 2024, 6% of people were going to Bing.com instead of Google.com. And yeah, it's only 6% of people, but it's easy. Just set up a BingPlaces.com account. It's a little tricky. You have to do it through Microsoft account. A lot of people do it through their Google, and it gets really confusing and convoluted. Just set up a Microsoft account. It's an extra step, but it makes it a lot cleaner. It's kind of a pain, but it's worth it because it'll help you show up in this beautiful way on Bing.com when the 6% of people are searching there. What's coming next? Yes.
You don't recommend reporting? I just saw that reference.
Yes. It's not that I don't recommend it. It just gets a little muddy.
Okay.
And it might be a more simple way for a non-agency to do it, frankly. We have an agency account, and I don't go anywhere near importing because it messes stuff up sometimes. So I'm kind of a control freak, and I'm very meticulous, and I personally don't import. No, my recommendation would be setting up a Microsoft account and like logging in with an email address. Yeah. All right, so what's coming next? We've got 2 more of these. This is the second of 4, so if this is your first time here, welcome. Glad you're here. January 16th, we're trying to keep it consistent with the 3rd Friday of the month, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're going to talk about email marketing, digital advertising, and how to measure those results, okay? So we're still staying off of websites a little bit. We're going to get into email like, Constant Contact, MailChimp, blah, 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 all those different ones. And when I say digital advertising, I don't just mean Google Ads. Google Ads is a huge part of that. There's also something called local service ads we'll be talking about, and we'll talk about spending money with social media ads as well. And we might spend 2 minutes on Yelp. We'll talk about print advertising as well. That can be really strategic for many businesses. Believe it or not, people still hold things in their hands and look at them. And keyword search analysis, how to measure rankings, and how to see the results of what you're doing, right? How to make sure that if you're spending money on ads, you need to make sure it's working, because if it's not, you need to stop spending money in that way and spend it in a different way. And then our last one, 4 of 4 in February, we'll talk about ongoing content development for SEO and client retention, and that's kind of under the assumption that you were at 1 through 3 and you heard all the things and everything's set up all pretty, and now we're on the ongoing capacity. What do we need to do to kind of maintain? Any questions about what's coming? No? Okay, and if you missed session 1, it will be available on video eventually. We're working on that and it'll be done. And this one, we're recording this session 2, this will be available eventually as well. So feel free, I've got my cards up there, grab one, email me, say, hey, can you send me that video? I'd be happy to send it to you, no problem. And I think that's it. And if you think of something, I encourage you to scan that QR code, just leave it as one of the 75 tabs open in your phone. I'm not accusing, I'm just assuming. And fill out just fill out a form, it goes to me, I don't have an office staff, so, yes.
Do you have one honorable mention for a random platform to get on? Like,
Yes, I
something
do.
like Nextdoor or Platform?
Yes, I have 2. I would say, I'm glad you mentioned Nextdoor. Nextdoor would definitely, is the silent hero.
Yeah.
It's weird. People really gossip like crazy on that platform. And if people like you, they will tell everybody that they like you, and you will get business from it.
Well, it's kind of like Yelp, though.
Oh, right. If you have,
they hate you, they're coming after you.
right, if you have anyone questionable behind the desk, like, don't get on Nextdoor until you have everything smoothed out,
That's rough.
everyone's smiling and kind, and everything's perfect. Then get on Nextdoor and people, get people to start talking about you. Because basically the way it works is, hey, do you have an HVAC person you recommend? Oh, I recommend this company. If you have a page, it comes up, and then next thing you know, people are calling you from Nextdoor. So that would definitely be the sleeper setup. The other one that's like old school that's still really helpful is the Better Business Bureau, believe it or not. That's really great for our credibility, and it's free. You don't have to have an accredited listing. It's very expensive to have an accredited listing. It does give you more capabilities, and your profile looks a lot better, but you can have a free listing on there. And the other one that I recommend is Wake Forest Chamber, of course. Get up in that directory, because Wake Forest Chamber members are loyal to Wake Forest Chamber members. So if you're looking for a company and you're in the chamber, a lot of people go to the directory and find the company that way. So that's another sleeper one.
And I think his name is Gordon. You may know.
Yeah,
him.
Gordon Coleman.
We did you and I were there at a seminar last week of how to do your directory page. It seems real simple, but that helped me a lot. Of sure, did it help you? Just some little check this box, check that box to make sure it shows appropriately.
That was smart to do one thing in an hour instead of 85 things in an hour like we
that
just
was,
did.
if you
I
haven't
was
done
sweating
it,
over there.
I highly encourage you reach out to him and make sure you've got that little piece.
Do you know if he videoed it?
I don't think he videoed.
No, I think he
Okay.
does it frequently.
Yeah.
But I think he still had to go through all the different steps.
Right.
Like here, I still had to do a lot of steps.
Right,
But
right,
this is
yeah.
very helpful.
Today I just tried to show you kind of the rabbit holes and the,
No, it was very helpful.
but
I
yeah.
thought it was really helpful.
Well, good. Yeah, so Wake Forest Chamber Directory, Nextdoor, and then all the other ones we talked about today. If you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you grab a card on the way out too, that would be super helpful. And we have a newsletter. So if you like this information, that's all our blog and newsletter is. It's just like, we're just giving you as much information as we possibly can to help you grow your business. So I encourage you guys to sign up for our newsletter and visit our blog page every once in a while. It's mostly driven, you guys are our audience. So hopefully it'll be helpful for you.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming.
This one's-